It's all about the noodles. Ramen, the traditional noodle soup from Japan, has captured the taste buds of millions of Americans. And one small family business is behind many of the ramen shops in the U.S., a family dedicated to making noodles and changing the way we eat them.
Fresh noodles covered with hot chicken broth and topped with sliced pork. There is nothing instant about this ramen except for how fast it gets eaten. The noodles were made here in this 10,000 square foot factory in New Jersey. It's one of 3 in Kenshiro Uki's family.
Out of this factory, we make over 150 different types of noodles.
On this line, workers are constantly making adjustments, ensuring the noodles have the right texture, waviness, and moisture content.
So the next step, and the final step before we start cutting it, is we measure how thick it is because each ramen shop has a different thickness.
On an average day, Sun Noodle makes 180,000 servings delivered to thousands of ramen shops nationwide. It is a massive operation compared to the company's humble beginnings in 1981 under Kenshiro's father, Hidehito.
It didn't really occur to me how amazing his craft was until I really got into high school. He's kind of a magician when it comes to flour and water.
Back then, the Uki family was living in Hawaii. Hidehito's biggest challenge was explaining what Japanese craft ramen was, that it didn't involve dried noodles and flavor packs. His first factory had 6 employees. Kenshiro says they helped raise him.
I was with them every day, and even till this day, we have memories of eating dinner together after work. Yeah, they're a bit older now, but we still call them in Hawaii auntie and uncle.
From Hawaii, Sun Noodle expanded to Los Angeles. In 2011, Kenshiro decided to build this factory. This week, he opened Ramen Lab in New York City. It's an intimate 10-seat counter where diners can learn one-on-one with renowned Tokyo chef Jack Nakamura.
I'm using the black in Japan.
You'll see, Chef Naka and his assistants cooking in front of you. You see the stock pots. You'll see him cutting his negi and ingredients. If you ever had questions, for example, why is this noodle paired with this dish? Or why is this topping on this dish? You can ask the chef there. You can communicate with him.
This one for egg. I want to make a more history in US, the ramen world.
The 2 men say that in the past few years, they've watched ramen go mainstream, popping up in almost every major city. Their hope is that the dish continues to evolve, with local chefs incorporating local ingredients. The lab is proof there's no wrong way to make ramen, just a right way to eat it.
If a chef from Texas had created a Texas-style ramen, that it shouldn't be perceived as not ramen. It should be perceived as a Texas-style ramen. And that's really what we're trying to aim for.
We're also used to that sort of wavy noodle, but it's interesting because he says in Japan you really do have a broth with a noodle, and it's all different.
Wow. Texas ramen, that's interesting.